Hey YouTube, this is a video review of the Btwin Inuit 100 bike. This is a bike from Decathlon for kids aged 4.5 to 6 years old. In this video I'm going to review the bike, explain all the different ways you can buy it and the different ways you can save money, and also how to buy it in an efficient way so that you're not forgetting anything when you make the purchase. Just a thing first of all about kids bike sizes. It's mainly on the size of the wheels. I think it goes 10 inches, 14 inches, 16 inches, 18 inches, 20 inches, 24 inches. This comes with 16-inch wheels and it's for children of approximately 4.5 to 5 years old. One of the things to remember, the main thing is about the way the bike, the size of the bike, how it fits your kid. If possible, take your child to Decathlon to try the bike out first, because it's very tricky. If you just try and get this inside measurement of their legs and try and guess it, you might not get it right. It's better to have a bike slightly too small than slightly too big, in my opinion, for a child. If this is the first or second bike that they're having, psychologically, they want to have a good feeling as soon as they start riding it. If it's slightly too big, they could fall off it and then hurt themselves and have a negative association. This bar could be slightly too high, the top bar, and if that's rubbing in between their legs, it's going to be uncomfortable as well. So there should be a gap of 1 to 2 inches between the middle of their legs, the inside middle of their legs and that bar. When they stand on the bike, on the seat, when their legs are fully stretched down, their feet should either be flat or slightly on their tippy toes. Now, some of you are going to say, oh, that's too small for the kid, but then all you have to do is raise the seat slightly or raise the handlebars. Both of these can be done with an Allen key. As I say, if you're not sure between this bike and the next size up, if the next one up's too big, don't get it. Get this one for them. Get them to ride around on it a little bit. A few words about the price. 90 euros is, well, 89 euros is hardly, not a lot of money at all. If you want it second hand though, you can get them for 25 to 30. So if you are on a budget, look out for this bike second hand. What I like about it in terms of the financial side, it comes with front and back lights, it comes with a bell, kids love that. The only thing it doesn't come with, which you definitely need to buy when you're at Decathlon, is the kickstand. You can see it just underneath. The kickstand is 7 euros. Again, it's the Allen key, the thicker sized Allen key that you need to put that on. Don't buy it without the kickstand because it will drive the kids nuts. Every time they want to stop, what are they going to do? They'll drop the bike. There may not be anything to put the bike, to lean the bike against, so then they drop it. That's a bad habit for them to get into because they're going to have nicer bikes as they get older and they can't keep dropping stuff. But also I worry that it'll knock the brakes out of place or maybe knock the chain slightly off the sprocket and fall off. So in terms of the upkeep of the bike, it's not a good idea to drop it constantly, which I know kids will do when they're in a rush. So buy the kickstand to go underneath for 7 euros when you're at the shop. Also buy a helmet. I had one somewhere there, 10 euros. This is a very good thing about Decathlon. You can buy all the accessories when you're there. They're new. They're probably the cheapest price you can get. I would have liked the bike to have a back rack because often kids, when they go exploring, they like to put things on the back rack, flowers, rocks, stones, whatever they find along the way. This doesn't have that. It doesn't have the mud guards either. Now you can buy these things as accessories at Decathlon. It's metal mud guards, metal back rack, and put them on. A word of warning, the second important thing to be looking at when you're getting the bike is the weight of the bike. So it's the size. Does it fit them properly? Can they ride it okay without falling off? Is it too small or too big? Get the right size, but also make sure it doesn't weigh too much. Children's bikes can be so heavy as a ratio in comparison to their weight. This bike weighs 8.75 kilograms. Now, when you put the back rack and the metal mud guards, it's going to push the weight up a bit. It may not sound like a lot, but children of 4.5, 5 years old will weigh around 16 kilograms, more or less. So this is coming in at about 40% of their body weight, which is quite a lot. For adults, normally it's around 20-25%. A bike will weigh 15 kilograms. Most people will weigh 60-70 kilograms. So it's much less. The proportion for a kid is much more. If the bike is heavy, it's going to drive them nuts to keep lifting it all the time. Now on the cheaper children's bikes, they can be much heavier. I think it's because the steel is of a worse quality. Don't know if it's got iron mixed in it, but it can be very heavy, and that hurts the child, and it's frustrating for them when they fall off to keep picking it up. So really like the price, really like the quality more or less. It's put together quite well. As I've said, you can ask them to tune it up when you're there in the little workshop area. A couple of words of warning, things to look out for. I thought the pedals are very cheap. These plasticky pedals, on other bikes I've had with these plasticky ones, they've fallen off. I don't know why, but the thread has unraveled in the crank arm and it's fallen off. So you want to keep an eye that they are really on tightly. I noticed the sticker wasn't put on properly. It's only a small thing, but it bugs me a little bit. It's not complicated to put a sticker on. One more thing, which is just a little word of warning, was the brakes. If you don't have time for them to do the tune-up, which I didn't, the brakes were rubbing slightly against the rim, the brake pad. This isn't necessarily because of the assembly. Often I say the bikes at Decathlon are assembled very quickly and not great. For me, it's because all these kids' bikes are in a row, in a rack in the shop, and people try them out and kind of throw them back and they get banged against each other. And that's what I think caused the brakes to be rubbing against the rims. So you can ask them to fix it, or you can do it yourself with an Allen key. As you've probably guessed, you really need an Allen key set. I've got another video coming up on tools, but you definitely need an Allen key for this bike to balance the brakes, to put the kickstand on, to put the seat up. You need an Allen key. It's not the nut where you use a wrench. You need an Allen key to lift the seat up and down, and also for the handlebars as well. On the whole, this bike seems okay. I give it a 7.5 out of 10 for the low price. The overall build quality seems pretty good. If you're interested in learning about buying secondhand bikes and earning money from that, check out my ebook below. I've also got a series of videos coming up on the tools you use to repair bicycles, and some more on bike security and bike locks and how they can be broken. So if you're interested in following those developments, subscribe below as well. Thanks.